Hey everybody, it is Greek Gamer or Nicholas coming at you with a brand new series on my channel, which is going to be Games with Gold. Is it worth it? Now, our pilot episode of the series is going to be on Evolve. This game was free for all Xbox Live Gold members for the weekend, as it was not a permanent free game. I believe this was a Labor Day special, but I'm going to be giving you guys my in-depth review and guide to the game and whether or not you should spend $30 on it on the Xbox Live Store. So let's get into it. Okay, so as you're going to start off here, the main menu is pretty bland, pretty basic. You know, you got your solo, your multiplayer settings, etc., etc. Shows the last thing you were. I was the Wraith last, which is one of the monsters I'll get into later. But this game is about patience. Now, why I say that is because this game is very based around patience and knowing what you're doing. And it's not a game for the anxious. Now, here are the game modes. I'm just going to show you guys the game modes really quickly. I don't want to spoil everything in the game, so that's why I'm not covering every little bit of the game, like what you spend your points on and all that stuff. But the game modes include Hunt, Defend, Nest, all these other game modes. Evacuation is a 5-event campaign, which you can get a lot of XP from. I recommend that if you're trying to level up in this game. There's a plethora of maps, and the maps are based around different scenarios. You have close range, long range, rainy maps, snowy maps, with a lot of effects tied to each map. And the effects are not same on every single map, which I personally think is a great thing. Keeps replayability going. You gotta have certain maps that have certain effects, but the effects range anywhere from things that help the monster to things that help the hunters. You can have anything from phantoms that attack the hunters, more hostile wildlife, radiation clouds, or to against the monster, you can have things along the lines of, as you can see here, clear skies, which make it so the monsters very easily visible. You can also have attack drones, Ep.1 Star, which is, Ep.1 Star is like the company that this whole game is around, you know, like a life-saving company, all that stuff. But they'll have allies drop down and help the monster, or help fight the monster. As you can see here, you know, all kinds of stuff. You know, Nest, you have to attack eggs. Defend, you have to defend an area of generators to save a dropship. All this other stuff. The hunters are very wide range as well, but I'm just showing you guys some of the maps, get your eyes around it. If these maps look interesting to you, maybe that's a point you guys want to have. I'm going to say right now that the maps in this game look fantastic. The graphics in this game are very good. They really live up to the standards that this game was meant to hold graphical-wise. Now, as for the replayability, I will get into that later. And, you know, here's the difficulty settings. You can change everything from the monster difficulty to the hunter difficulty. If you're playing with bots, you can change how often wildlife appears. Everything possible. The difficulty settings are really, like the extra settings are really out there. Here's the intro scene for the dropship. I am Lazarus, the medic. I'll get into the characters later, but my personal favorite class is the medic. Now here, I just want to point this out. There's some witty conversations that go up here on the dropship before you go down to fight the monster. A couple of key ones would be with Jack, as well as a couple of others. I think it's downright hilarious what some of these guys say. And yeah, as you can see here, the hunter interface is pretty basic. And if you're playing with bots, you can also hit the D-pad to change hunters whenever you want, which could be very strategic if you're playing with bots. Very interesting, very handy. As you can see here, the ability bar on the right. Now, as I said, the game is based around the environment and based around the monster. So the environment is very dangerous, as you are on an alien planet called Sheer. This is where this game takes place. Lots of things can kill you. I cannot stress this enough. There's everything from carnivorous plants to other monsters. You know, they're not as dangerous as the big monster, and they go down a lot easier than the big monster, but they will kill you very quickly. Don't know how many times I've had a friend get caught up in a plant, or any sort of thing that has happened along those lines. And like I said, this game is very patience-based. You have to track the monster. The Trapper is one of the classes. By the way, I should mention this before I continue. The Trapper, the Assault, the Medic, and the Support are the 4 classes in this game. As you can tell, the Trapper would trap the monster, the Assault would kill the monster with the most damage dealt, Support supports the team, Medics, you know, heals everybody. Well, each character in that class has specific abilities that are tailored to help fight and attract the monster. As you can see here, there is something on the ground by footprints. If you guys didn't know, there's elite wildlife that drop buffs, and both humans, or should I say hunters, and monsters can take a hold of this buff. So if a monster kills an elite wildlife, yes, the humans can take it, and vice versa. It stays there forever. Like I said, this game is very patience-based. You have to be able to track the monster, look for the monster, you know. And you don't have to be the Trapper to do that. And you don't have to be the Assault to deal a lot of damage. You know, like, everything is very interchangeable. For example, my medic class, I can do a lot of damage to the monster with this medic class, and it just takes a lot of time and strategic value and knowing how to work your way with that character. As you can see here, my trapper has set up a UAV. I'm just shooting around, and this UAV actually showed us where the monster was. As you can see here, he is the Kraken. I will get into the monsters later, but the Kraken is pretty much the ranged attacker of all the monsters. He can fly, shoot lightning, shoot like these plasma balls. Very, very dangerous monster to deal with at range. I recommend getting up close and personal with him, as he is not very good in close quarters combat. But as you can see here, the Trapper, one of the Trapper's main abilities that every Trapper gets is actually the most useful, in my opinion. It's the mobile arena. It actually traps the monster, not the hunters, but the monster gets trapped in an area, and it's not allowed to leave until the monster, or the mobile arena, I should say, goes down. Now, the mobile arena lasts about 30 seconds, so it gives the hunters a lot of time to try to deal some damage, take off the armor of the monster, and try to layer some health damage on him, as that is very important to this game, because the armor regenerates over time, especially when feeding. The health does not. Very interesting fact about the game. I hope you guys can take advantage of that. Excuse me. So, as you can see here, there's some more footage. We are fighting the behemoth monster, and as you can see, it is the bulkiest monster. It has a ton of health, and it's very, very dangerous to deal with at close range. Very bulky, very powerful, but again, not very sneaky, because there's many different attributes to him, like he's a giant rock monster. Here are my two favorite monsters. I'm going to start getting into the monsters now. The behemoth, which is the bulkiest and the strongest, and most likely the Wraith. I just love the Wraith. You guys saw it at the beginning of the slide, but the Wraith is the sneaky, stealthy, killer kind of monster, you know what I mean? He's kind of the Phantom of the monster gang. He's the fastest, he's the sneaky, so he can go invisible, clone himself. But as you can see, the goal of the monster is to get from stage 1 to stage 3 using the patent pending, yeah, I said it like that for a reason, evolving system to get to stage 3 and attack the power generator. Now, as you level up through the stages, you get very powerful, and you go to attack the power relay. How do you do this, you ask? You have to kill wildlife and eat it without the hunters knowing where you are. The maps are very big in this map for that specific reason. It is for the monster to go around the map, find wildlife, kill it, eat it, get experience to evolve. Now, you also eat to regain armor. As you can see here, I'm going to show a clip of me using the Wraith. I recommend killing whole packs if you're away from the hunters and they can't hear you attacking. Use your abilities to do it, because it is really quickly. Well, not quickly, quicker. And as you can see here, I'm just eating away, trying to make sure that I am good to go. Like I said, taking down whole packs really helps you get that bar up to evolve. That's what that giant circle is. Very useful to, like I said, take out whole packs, even bigger predators. Bigger predators definitely give you more. Now, there's two ways to win as a monster. One is to defeat some of the hunters, or not defeat them at all and juke them out, like I did here, and destroy the power relay. Power relay is the main objective, well, one of two main objectives. You can either kill all the hunters or take out the power relay. As you can see here, what I did was I killed a couple of hunters and then I juked out the other two, and I'm taking out the power relay. Now, I used my smell ability to see who was on the horizon so I could put up a rock wall around me, which is one of his abilities, to do that. Here is the second to last clip here. I'm just going to talk a little bit more about the monster itself. This is the other way you can take things. You can go balls to the walls, kill everything in your path, and kill all the hunters. If you manage to kill every single hunter, or at least put them all down, then the monster also wins. Now, I prefer taking out all the hunters, especially if you're the behemoth, but if you want to take down the power relay, I recommend moving the hunters away from the power relay, because they will camp there, and it is common strategy from the all camp near the power relay to stop you from getting what you need to get done. As you can see here, this is what I'm doing. I'm just destroying everything in my path, making sure that they cannot defeat me, and that's another goal of the game. Now, again, it takes a long time to get to this point, and, you know, the game, like I said, is very patient-based. I can't stress that enough. Very patient-based. You have to be very careful about what you're doing. There's player progression, character progression. You can unlock more damage, etc., etc., etc. I'm not going to waste everything there. As for a final verdict, I'm 8 out of 10, because I believe this game needs a lot more than it currently has. I feel like this game will lose its replayability if you use the same things. Like, I'm using the medic. I'm starting to get bored of the class already. Might switch it up, but just be careful of replayability. This isn't a game you want to grind out every single day for like a month just to beat it. But yeah, this is pilot episode 1 of Games with Gold. Is it worth it? Now, my final verdict is I believe you should buy the game if you like games like this. But this is Greek Gamer signing off.